Hello, welcome back. Last time I did the blank canvas level, which was about drawing patterns and stuff. Next level that I built in order, second to last one, is roleplay. So, I've always felt like alternate player roles were something that didn't get enough attention usually in most of the holds that I play, so I decided to build a whole level about them. What would it be like to be somebody else? Experience the world, different body, yeah. So, this level is all about different interesting things you can do if you have a different player role. A little bit of dialogue here. Person attending the theater advises you to go south first, in case you want to go to the practice room and learn all about mechanics of this level and of player roles. So the way I implemented role switching is with these changing room things. They all look like this. They have the type you're changing into and a little area, 3x2 that you can step into. Anywhere in this area you'll change into that role. So, I'm a Wraithwing now. Wraithwings still have Beathra's face. Not everything has custom stuff. So yeah, what I have here is just a big pile of interactions and things, like for example, Wraithwing, Fagundo, and Puff are all flying. So they go over that stuff, they don't trigger pressure plates. Roach, for example, cannot traverse shallow water unless I've touched a power token. Rock golems can destroy Puff. This Puff is scripted to actually become a Puff when I step into that chamber. Huh. So when it's a character, it's not quite as transparent, I'm noticing. Constructs drop trapdoors but die in Ormites immediately. Wubbas are invulnerable to things like swords, but not things like briars or adders or other things. Tarstuff babies can stand on hot tiles. Fagundos can actually move across fire traps safely. Anyway, so it goes over a whole bunch of stuff like that. I guess I don't need to demonstrate every single thing in here, but yeah, just a bunch of roles you can play with, things you can do with them. Oh, I can kill Health like that, right, because I have a body kill as a gel baby. Health listens to decoys, I think?
Come on.
Okay.
Yeah, but not to
Yeah, sure.
non-Beathro rolls. Non-Beathro or gun throw rolls. Anyway, so yeah, if you want to play with rolls and stuff, I think these are actually just character evil eyes, they're not real ones, but you can still kill them if you want to see multi-kill with a Slayer.
For the Empire!
There was actually a bug in this room until fairly late in the hold. I'm glad I caught it. Let's see, without a power token, I'll just step over those potions but not drink them. There was a bug where you could drink a clone potion, place a clone here, switch to it, then leave the room and keep that roll, because normally what's supposed to happen is you change back to Beathro when you step on this floor. I'm glad I discovered this, because taking something like a Slayer out could have broken all sorts of stuff. So what I have here is just a script right here to change back to Beathro. So things like that have to be watched out for carefully. She goes away after she does her dialogue, so it only happens once. Anyway, so yeah, room's about player roles. This first one's pretty much just a very introductory sort of room. If you pay attention to all the scrolls down here, which I didn't actually read, but I know all the stuff now. Right, so basically how this came about was that I sat down with the editor, tried all sorts of different interactions with every single role I could think of to figure out what the differences were. It wasn't the most scientific of processes. I probably missed some things that can happen, but I tried to document everything that I could, differences that I could see for everything. Some roles like citizens can always use orbs even without a power token, which you'll actually see in this room. Anyway, yeah, so I'm stealthed in a monster role. Those evil eyes don't care about me until I make a kill. Now if I do that, they kill me. Goblin can't use orb, so you gotta kill those so the citizen can safely pass. Citizen uses orb. And eventually I'm gonna get to play as a guard, guard and Fagundo. So citizen doesn't have any means of defense. No sword he can wield or anything. I want that there. This orb opens the way to the roaches and closes me in, so I need the mirror for protection. Fry up some roaches, and then this mirror becomes a bridge So I can park a roach on this plate to open this. I'm going kind of fast here because I feel like this level is fairly large and there's kind of a bunch to cover. So I'm under a little bit of threat now, but it's easy enough to get to the guard changing room that I just opened up and kill some roaches. Queen's no longer needed, so she's gone. So I want that power token, and I want to drop the trapdoors so that the Fagundo can go through the fire traps and hit the Conquer token. It turned out that there wasn't actually a whole lot of... Oh, right. Before using a power token, soldiers and guards and I think one other Slayer can actually use their swords in shallow water, which is interesting. After a power token, I'll show that in a moment. Gotta change back to a goblin here because I have to fight on Ormites. After using a power token, a guard will actually put away his sword in shallow water and be able to hide. So I was not stealthed before when I was using my sword. Anyway, so yeah, simple introductory puzzle, just apply some of the stuff you learned about player roles, fly over the pit, go through the fire traps, and you're done. The rest are a little bit less simple. So yeah, what's it like to be a Wubba? One of the properties I discovered early on was that a Wubba with a guard can just move him around in any direction except the direction that he's in, and he'll stay in the same orientation. So I kind of ended up building a puzzle around that. I can do stuff like this with an obstacle to get him to reorient, if I wait here, for example. But I do actually want him in that orientation for this. So this is just a simple multi-pressure plate Evil Eye lock 3 times. Originally this couch was here to be a useful place for running Evil Eyes around, and like getting them stuck up here to prepare for something like... yeah, so one problem here is this guard likes to kill the Evil Eye, so sometimes it's hard to prevent that. Yeah, I originally had plans that so that you had to do some dance like that with the couch to get this Evil Eye to the right place for this, because this one's harder to release. You can't do it with just the Wubba and the guard, but there are actually easier ways to do that. Anyway, so this one is awake, and I can just release it whenever I want. I don't need it yet. Let's see. Goal in here is to kill all the monsters, of course, step on the power token. Each one of these 2 pressure plates immediately kill whatever steps on them, like that, and also open one of the doors here. So Evil Eyes need to go there, Evil Eyes or Guard. I'll put an Evil Eye there. Using vertical preference, it's very easy as an invulnerable Wubba to just dance around like that, and be able to get monsters to go exactly where I want, if they're either on my east or my west. This Evil Eye, something needs to go in here. These never reopen, so what I have to do is put an Evil Eye in there, then convince the guard to kill it. The guard will try to path through ortho squares, so if I stand here, he'll stab that. And at this point I'm pretty much done with the guard. So I can either put the guard on this or put the Evil Eye there. Whichever one doesn't do that can just die on the hot tile by the Conquer token. So just wait here, and since nothing can attack me, it just stands there and dies. Convenience tunnels here to get around faster. Alright, so now here is where things start getting very complicated. This room, I'm really happy with the way this room turned out. There is kind of a lot to it. I know a lot of people get stuck in this room for a while because it's one of those rooms that just sort of... what idea did I even start with here? I think I just picked a few rolls and said, okay, what can I do with these? And just plopped down some elements. This hot tile and Evil Eye pressure plate thing came in pretty early. It's like I wanted to use a Tarstuff Baby's hot tile immunity. So you have to actually stand there to get the Evil Eye to stand on this plate, and same for this one. But there are a bunch of problems first. Yeah, this was a room that more than, like... I didn't have a grand plan going into this one, it just kind of evolved from plunking down some elements, trying to figure out how they'd interrelate, and tangling them up in more and more complicated ways until something pretty cool came out. I'm particularly proud of this one. So, first action here is to build a bridge out of rock golems. I actually have access to 5 golems right now. See if we can spot the 5th one. Now these first 4 go here. Now this is not a functional bridge yet. Only a soldier can block an Ontlic beam here, and that's not useful because he can just walk over anyway. But it does let me... Let's see, I don't want to move that mirror yet. So golem number 5, let's see, how do I do this? Oh yeah, I do want to move the mirror yet, because it's impossible to get through here with those 2 Ontlic facing me. Nobody can do that at all. So I need either an obstacle to block those beams, which is not available here, or a mirror to hold one in place. And the sword blocks the other one. Eventually I'm going to have to hit this orb to let that eye out, which means I need to step on a power token. Doing that involves pressing this plate, and you'll see how that goes once it happens. So, simple little golem dance to get him to come out here. Next thing I'm going to do is to hit this plate. That'll give me access to a spider, and you'll see how that's useful eventually. The way to get to that plate is to keep this Ontlic stunned like that, by building a little bit more of a bridge. Guards have funny noises. And then have the mud baby come over here to do this. I think I made the constraints in this room a little bit too complicated to parse. I wish it had been kind of just a little bit simpler. But for what it is, I'm pretty happy with it. Right, so that opened up this golem. So now with another one available to me, I can lengthen the bridge even more and get the mirror into this magic spot that intersects both Ontlic beams. So now that they're both stunned, there is an extra step I need to do here. Somebody needs to step on this. It's behind a tunnel. How would that ever happen? I didn't actually step over this scroll, but soldiers always use tunnels, but not all monsters do. Interestingly, one strange interaction is that before touching a power token, monsters can actually just walk right over top of tunnels, even in the direction they're facing. So, since a spider can go in shallow water, Mudbaby can't yet until the power token is hit. Spider, after soldier breaks the broken wall there, the spider can hit the pressure plate. So now, this is a complicated room by the way, now that mirror that's been so helpful actually gets sacrificed in this spot so that I can use the power token. So things the power token changes. It allows the soldier to hide in water and not use his sword anymore. It allows the mud baby to go into water at all, so I might as well do this now. No, I can't because that's not open. Right, and it allows people to bump orbs. Now this is where a lot of people get stuck in the room, I know, because it's... I wish I'd made this slightly more obvious. There's just barely enough room... Oh... There's enough room to get the... Oh, no, there's not. There's just barely enough room here to hide in the water and be underneath the Ontlic beams. I guess that's maybe not the most well-known mechanic. Like, it was shown off in Flood Warning, but I didn't know about it until it told me about it there. So I wish I had signposted that just a little bit better, that, like, this spot is special. This happens to be out of range of both of these. Anyway, I can use the orb, finally. Whoops. Soldier can no longer block Ontlic beams while in water. But that's okay, because this evil eye is going to kill them both. They're on flare traps. And there we go. Room done. For a lot of these rooms, I kept wishing that I could... I kept trying to structure them such that you would finish them in a role that was something other than like a mud baby or a spider or roach or something that just makes hissing noises.
Can I help?
Because like I like to hear these voice clips.
What's up, Chief?
But it just didn't work out for certain rooms like that one, so you end up finishing that one as a mud baby, unfortunately. Right, so this probably looks similar to this room, kind of. Similar outside, very different inside. This one has 2 challenges. Kill the serpent without allowing any puffs to enter its chamber, and kill the serpent without allowing the roach to enter its chamber. These are mutually exclusive. Technically it would be possible to fail both of them, but they basically are just 2 different ways of doing the room. The roach solution was the one the room was initially built around, but eventually I figured out I could actually do it with Puff too, so I just added challenges for both of those. Anyway, so forced power token, you start non-stealthed as you go in. Just 2 roles, just Wraithwing and... oh right, these are ghost display characters, so they don't even show up in the right-click. I had... oh yeah, right, this was the room that made me make this change. Initially, I had these as normal characters, but what I discovered is pretty much all characters, and it doesn't seem like there's a way to control this other than making it a construct or a golem, all characters attract puff. So these were actually going for the characters in my changing room that were just markers of what you would change into. So I changed it to ghost display characters, which don't really show up as a thing, but they're still visible, and they don't attract puff anymore. Anyway, so only action available initially to a Wraithwing is to hit this orb, which lets out the roach and gives access to the construct. Sorry for going so fast here. I feel like I'm going kind of fast, but I have to because there's still, oh boy, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more rooms to get through. 6, counting this one. So, construct. Construct can move platforms. This roach is in a slightly tricky spot where I have to get it out without it eating me. That's where this platform shape comes in. So I can do that, have a roach directly on my tail. Now a construct can't step here, remember, or might kill them. So how does this work? Oh yeah, right. I think there are a few different ways to do this dance. How I intended it to work is you'd run the roach around this place, then get on a platform to get some distance. And then what? Then I guess I can do this? Sure. And become a Wraithwing again. Wait, how does that help me? Hang on, how did I do this? I think I wanted these platforms rearranged so that they would hold the roach in place or something? Sure, I guess that's... well, no, that's not good enough. Yeah, how did I do this? I'm forgetting now. Can I just, like, bring him over here for a minute? Sure, that works. Anyway, what I want to do is get the roach. If I have a little bit of distance, I can just do it this way. Get the roach to step on this plate. Why do I want that? That wasn't actually closed, so that doesn't matter yet. Never mind, that's unnecessary. Roach comes up here, and goes in this bucket. I felt like that initially was necessary before. I think I had a different way of doing this. And I'm forgetting how it worked now. Oh well, this is how I'm doing the room now, I guess. So, roach is in there. The whole reason I'm moving this roach around is to stand on this pressure plate, which does a whole bunch of stuff. Among other things, it opens this briar so that when that's released, and this reopens, the briar closes the door to the puffs, the door away from the puffs, and the door to the serpent. And that just gets reopened by stepping on this. Anyway, so that's important to shut off the fire traps so I can drop this last trapdoor and get access to this serpent chamber. So I switch to a construct. I have to drop this bridge. There's some tricky timing involved here. Constructs can just destroy puffs, same way as I did with the golem. But if I don't time this properly, then the roach dies. I need the roach to survive. I don't actually remember what the best timing is. Not that one. Is it 2? I think it's 2. Yeah, okay, so 2 lets me kill 4 puffs at once, because they go for the roach, and also run into me. This is set up to allow me to do something like that, and I actually need a puff to get rid of the briar down here, so this actually kind of turns into a race. Depends on how you do it, but it kind of turns into a race. And a construct cannot actually attract a puff, so I need to be a Wraithwing to move this around. And see, I didn't win the race. I have to get here before the puff gets here. Because the way that works is the puff is only attracted to the roach until I get close enough for it to prefer the Wraithwing or whoever I'm playing. So I just gotta be quicker or something? Oh, right. Be quicker, but also get rid of these guys. Okay, I think that was quicker, and I think I did want to actually wait there to do that. So Roach steps on that, but I'm more interested in getting here quickly. I was 1 turn short. Right. So yeah, this is actually kind of a surprisingly tight race. Let's try on a 3. 3 works. Okay, I didn't kill as many puffs. Alright, I have a few more turns now. This should be good. Just the way everything lined up with puff movement. There we go. So I attract that away. Pull a puff all the way down here. Then once I get it into this spot, it is a little bit hard to move it west from here. That's intentional. So I have to move this puff from here to here. The way I can do that is go north 5, and then regardless of where this serpent is in its cycle, if I go northeast 5, the serpent will always be closer. So puff destroys briar, construct can destroy trapdoor, and the way to the serpent is open. So puzzle's not over yet. Among other things, when this roach releases this pressure plate... Right, I have to get the roach out and into the serpent chamber now. What was this for? That reopens that. If I just go in here, I get killed by the roach very quickly. Yeah, those briars cut off... Well, I can just get trapped in here if I want. So that's no good. Right, those briars cut off my way through. I can move the roach out like this if I want. And then through here... Why was this necessary? Oh, I remember. And I think I already actually have this set up adequately. Since I happened to leave the platforms in this formation, this should work. So the roach has to come out of there somehow. Since this orb reopened this door, I can go through there myself now. That roach would still be a pest if I just tried to directly go out here. I'd either kill it or it would kill me, but using the platforms, I create a little bucket for it to get it out of the way. Wraithwing can just go around it, and then finally, do the last thing. Room solved with the roach runaround challenge. So that's how you do it that way. Let's do it the other way. So seeding beacon... Kill the serpent without allowing the roach to enter its chamber. This way. So, room plays out very similarly. Like I said, I built this around the roach solution, then discovered the puff solution relatively later, and I don't think I actually had to change anything at all in the room to get the puff solution to work. So it just does it normally. Yeah, I think this was how I normally did this. But then, what happens with the roach? Like, how did... I had another way to do this dance, and I don't know what it was anymore. So I guess now I'm just doing it this way. So this is fine. Anyway, yeah, first part of the room plays out the same. Right, that was unnecessary. Roach goes here, construct goes here. So now what I have to do... let's go with yeah, one of those turns. So let's see, there's a different thing I can do. I can move the roach... how do I do this? I move the roach here, that's what it is. I need 4 puffs? Yeah, 3 to kill the serpent, 1 to kill the briar. So 4 of those have to survive. So I put the roach there. I think I can even put it here. Yeah, with the roach there, I can still move it onto this pressure plate by stepping in there. Before I do that, though, I can become a Wraithwing so that I can attract Puff. So Roach is stable now. I just have to make sure Puffs don't kill it. And while I'm doing that, herd them out of here. Now, the problem is when I start getting too far away... Actually, no, this is fine. Those are not looking at that Roach. But yeah, when I start getting way too far away, like this, that starts going for the Roach. So, you know, you can try to race these and move this down here to the Briar. I don't think that's going to work too well, so what I prefer to do usually is to just stash these somewhere. Here's a good spot. Let's see, I can never let one get in here because it's irretrievable from there, because it would be 2 Chebyshev units away from the Roach, and that means there's no... since it prefers the Roach rather than the player, there's no distance that could possibly bring it off of the Roach without killing the player. Anyway, so yeah, just sort of stash puffs. You know, I'm not sure how many I need to stash here. Let's see what I can get away with. If I'm here, that's still happening. As soon as I move west one more, those will start moving north. Let me see if I can just make it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Looks like I can. Cool. Oh shoot, no. I need to do this, which is not going to work. Is it? No, that goes for the roach, of course. Okay. So that's a problem. Is there anything I can do here to make this work? I can keep that one right there. Yeah, the puff dance here gets a little bit complicated. How's that sound? That sounds good to me. I can... Oh, shoot, no, it doesn't. Whoa, and that gets the roach out, so that's really no good. Okay. Well, now, hang on. I don't need this roach anymore, right? I think I can just kill the roach now, right? What would I need it for? Because, like, I have this open. I have access to puff. I can drop that trapdoor and open this myself. Let's try killing the roach. Yeah, that should be okay. Gotta drop that trapdoor. Oh, shoot. Those fire traps. Okay, so can I take the time to... Yeah, I don't think this will work. What I needed to do is stash more puffs away. Hey, you, stop doing what you're doing. Let's just put both of these up in this area. Get another one of these out. Let's stash all 3 in there. That seems smartest. Three's not enough to form fluff. This fuse is here to prevent fluff from forming. Oh shoot, that's going to move that in there. That's not what I want. Can't allow you to go there. Let's see, how do I do this? That should be fine. Okay, great. There. Now I've taken... Oops. I've taken the time pressure off myself. Oops. So I can spend as much time as I need to get all this stuff done. So I can't step exactly there, but that's fine. Okay, so roach just has to stay there while I drop this trapdoor. Then I can get rid of the roach, I think. Bye, roach. Thanks for your services. Do need to hit this. No problem. Wait, what? Oh, something has to step there. Oh, so that's why I still needed the roach. That's why this exists. I remember. Okay. Fine. So while Puff is here, I need to do some roach dancing to get him onto that plate. There. Done. I'll kill the roach later. Actually, I can kill the roach now and just let the puffs do the rest of the job, right? Go kill that serpent. Don't look at me, I'm a construct. I'm not tasty. Yeah, there we go. So that's what a construct says when you finish a room. Okay, yeah, so that's how both of those challenges work out. Puff solution's a little more fiddly, but totally works. Oh boy, you know, I'm starting to think, so this Slayer room is fun. I'm starting to think I should split this into 2 parts, because I've only finished about half the level. There's a bunch more to go yet. Yeah, let's actually save this for later. This room over here is kind of complicated. This one, yeah, there's a bunch to do here. Okay, so this is going to be a 2-parter. I'll see you next time to wrap up roleplay. Then after that, we'll go on to the final level.